Hey there, what's up? I'm here again, it's Brain. So this time, my next presentation of Monkey Ball Dimensions Remastered is the advanced levels. They may be a bit tricky, but hope you might win it. So, let's begin, shall we? First of all, we have Advanced 3, Arts. I think I tried to make this one up, but it was not that tricky. First of all, you start right here, then, if you want to go behind you, there's a green goal right there behind you, at least. I mean, it's a little narrow, and the beginning of the arc is kind of steep, but that might be okay for people to play. But if you want to go for the blue goal right over here, you basically go arc transferring. It might be a bit bumpy, but the blue goal's right there. Oh my goodness. This level wasn't that bad for me, but to build, so pretty good job for me, I would hope. Well, there might be another one coming up. Here it comes. This is Advanced Extra 5 Assessment. This one I think is pretty challenging, but I try to make that a little different. First of all, you start right here, then you go this way and bump on the edge of this platform, and then you go up the ramp right here, and then I think you're going around the edges, I'll bet. Then this next part is when you're diagonal crossing. There's a wormhole right there. Then you warp over to this platform, and then you go diagonal crossing again. Then if you want to make it up to this platform, I think I would have to put some bounce pads on there. There's only 5 of them you can bounce on to this platform. Then on the last platform, you avoid the hole, and then to the goal. Before I continue, there's 20 advances plus 5 extra. I think that might be a pretty good amount of levels in this pack. Well, let's see what else there is. How about Advanced 11, Cube Catwalks? I think this one might be a little different than Cone Catwalks. I think I would start right here, and then you go sidling around the cubes. That's a catwalk styled level, I'll bet. And then you go this way. Then the other cube is a shorter cube. It's a nice catwalk level. You just sidle around the cubes, and then to the goal. That was a pretty good level I just made up. I think there's actually a lot more to look at on this presentation. So, let's see what else there might be. Ready? This is Advanced 20, Dance Floors. I think this one might work for some people to play. First of all, you start right here, and then I had to scroll back a little bit. You start here, then you go. I think the floors are a little slanted since they're dance floors. I just try to make that a little different than Sega the Saga. And also, first of all, these dance floors are wide enough. Then you turn left, and then these floors are narrower. Then you get to the goal without even falling off. It's a little hard to do sometimes, isn't it? Well, maybe not, but I think that was a good level. Good job for me. So, the next one is Advanced 7, diagonal cross. It may look a little similar to basic checker from the last presentation I just showed. So basically, you start right here, then you go diagonal crossing again, and there's a bunch of bananas right here, and right here, and right here. Gonna keep going around the diagonal crossing, and then you just keep going until you make it to the goal without falling off. That might be a choice for me to try and win, but I bet that's a good one. Let's see, what else is there? Let's find out. Here's your next one. Advanced Extra 3. Downward Descension. Might be a bit of a short track, but you're just going downhill. First you start right here, then you go down the ramp and avoid the holes, and to the goal. I'm not sure how many seconds this track would be, but you might be able to say 30 or maybe I can't even tell how many seconds I'll put on that, but later I'll figure it out with some people. Anyway, that was a good level. So I just try to make that different than someone else. So that's all I have for this level, but there might be more levels coming up soon. Here it comes. The next one here is Drop Off, Advanced 6. That one might be a decent level I just tried to make. This time you start here, then you go straight and turn left or right. Doesn't matter what way you pick, but let's say you go up the ramps, then make a jump and drop onto this platform. I think I just tried to make that up. It was a pretty decent level. Although, like I said, it's a redo of Sega the Saga's Dimensions levels. It's remastered. That one is a decent level I made. Well, anyway, don't go away, there might be more coming up. I have a lot more to do, you know, but let's see what else there is. How about Advanced 15, Drops? This one is basically a little easy, but it should have been a little advanced, but can I say we start here? And then you go this way and make drops here. There's some walls here too, but let's say you start here and make some drops as you go left 2 times. There's only 3 drops that you can go on to, but that's a pretty decent level. Actually, I'm trying to make those levels a little different from people. Well, pretty good level. So I'm gonna say there might be a lot more than just 13 beginners I just showed on my last presentation. But let's see what else we have. The next one here is Advanced 14, Glitched Out. That one, I don't know if I made that one right, but it's a little too easy, isn't it? But let me say, you start here, then you go over the bumps. The first bump is like a hill of some kind, but the other bumps, there's some pointy edges on those 4 corners. Not sure if I put any glitches on those 2 squares, which look like bumps to me, but I might say they might be a little illusion. I don't really know, but then you go this way up the ramp to the goal. This doesn't look so bad, but I'm just trying to make it unique. So that was a decent level, but let's see, there might be another one. Let's go look at it. Here it comes. Here is Advanced 5, launcher. I wonder how I made this level. I gotta go think about how this level looks like. Maybe you start right here, and then you go around the block right there. This side of the block is the launcher, like a bounce pad of some kind. Let's say you start here, then you go around the block, then you bounce off of that launcher. There's a blue goal right here if you don't have enough momentum to make it up to these two other platforms. I'm betting the second platform is the green goal, then the other platform is the red goal. I bet I was making that level pretty unique. That was a pretty good level. I just made this wall a little beveled a little bit or so. I actually don't have a clue what it looks like, but I just tried to make that a little different. So, pretty good level. I'm pretty sure I figured out where to put pieces on the level. I actually don't have a clue. But anyway, that was good. Let's move on to the next one. This one is the first advanced level, Narrow Pathway. I bet this level is a decent one. Let me say you start right here at this starting point here. Then you go this way, and this is a really narrow pathway of some kind, but you're just going diagonal crossing, then you go all the way to the goal after you be careful on that pathway. That's a pretty decent level I was making so far. I might say that every level looks challenging or something. Pretty good for me. Let's see. Here comes the next one. Here is Pipe Descent, Advanced 16. Well, instead of Chute Descent, I just made Pipe Descent, balancing on that pipe. That one I think you start right here on this first cube. Then, you balance down the hill on the pipe. I wonder if there might be any bumpers around this pipe. I have no idea. Maybe I might put 3 bumpers on each of the sections of the pipe. You just need to balance on the pipe without falling off. Well, that's a decent level I was making, but there's a goal right here. I didn't tell you that yet, but maybe I have. There's a goal at the end of that level. That was pretty decent to look at. Well, pretty good job for me. Let's see. There might be more levels. Here we come. This one is Advanced 8, Seabed. That one I think is... I just tried to make that a little different from Sega the Saga as well. Let's say you start right here. This may look different, but you're going this way, over the pyramids. They're on a different height. Then you go this way, diagonal cross again. So basically that's a good level. And you go up the ramp, and you go on the rails, but I don't know if the rails are too wide for the ball to roll on, but we'll think about that later. So then you go this way up the narrow ramps. Then you go this way, and if you get enough speed to make it up to this height of the higher ground of the level, you basically get to the goal. That was a good level. Well, the challenge mode is custom music, which you might be hearing, or that might work. And then story mode, I don't know what music I would put on to the story mode area. Anyway, that's a good level. Say, we move on to the next one. Here it comes. How about this one? Advanced 2. Short Sidle. That's a pretty short Sidle area, but let's say you go starting right here, and then you go sidling along the wall, and then I wonder how this will be. You start here, and then you go sidling on that short sidle wall, and then there's a goal right here, and you might get bananas on the sidle or at the end of the pathway, which I'm betting. Well, that's a decent level I was making so far. I bet I'm gonna think about putting floor textures on there later. So, that might be a good level I made up. Let's move on. Next up we have this next one. I think this one we have next is Advanced 10. Let's say this name is Skate Ramp. Not sure how I actually made it up differently, but so you start, how about right here? You start here, and that might be another bonus stage for this type of level. You start right here, and there's bunches of bananas here, 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 and there. Maybe on those 4 corners, I'm guessing. But let's say you start here, then well, there's a goal right there. I don't want to forget about saying that, but there might be bananas on the ramps. That one, pretty decent level I was making up. And then also, not sure how many seconds that bonus stage would take, but I'll have to decide later. So that was pretty good. That will work. Alright, that was a good one, so let's move on to the next one. Here it comes. This one here is Advanced Extra 2, Skydock. That might be a decent level, but I was making that a little different from Sega the Saga as well. Let's say you start right here, on the bottom left corner, then you go down the ramp, around the top of that hill right there. Might be a type of cone of some kind. But let's say there's a bumper right here. You have to go around the bumper on top of that cone. And then you go balance on that bridge. Oh, that's a decent one, but then you turn right over the bridges, over arc, and under arc. Then you go this way around the ring, and then you go this way through a narrow bridge, and then go straight to the middle as you turn right to the goal. That was a pretty good level. I think I just made that up too, but this is not that hard to make levels different, but good job for me. So let's see what else there is. Here it comes. This one is Advanced 19, Sliced Slopes. Oh my goodness, I made that up a little challenging, but let's say you start right here, then you go down the slopes as they're sliced. There's some walls so that you don't fall off the track. So I'm hoping that people might be able to play this level without falling off. There's more sliced slopes on this level. It's definitely customized, but at the end of that you have to aim for the goal carefully at the last hill right there. Or slope. Actually, I call it a slope. That was decent, but later I'll have to figure out how to play this level. And might be about it on that one, but let's see what else there is. Ready? Here it comes. How about Advanced Extra 1, Sliding Jump? That might be an easy one, but this platform is moving back and forth. So first of all, you start here, and you go sliding down the slide. Then you go make a jump onto this platform. But like I said, this platform is sliding back and forth. I mean, moving back and forth, but let's say that was good. But there's a goal right here. Hope I didn't tell you, Robbie. I hope I told you that, but, well, that might be a good one for me. So, just slide and make a jump. That's all I'm saying for that level, but that's pretty good. Actually, there might be some more. So, I think there might be more. Here it comes. I have Advanced 12, Split Chasm. That one, it might be a bit easy, but let me say you start right here. These two platforms look like they're crossed together. So maybe you can go in the middle and try and aim for try not to hit a edge on the other platform, but I see I can go like this, and then to the goal. That was pretty decent, but actually that level does sound familiar for people, but that's actually my design or remake about Split Chasm. I think that was pretty interesting to look at. Well, I think there might be 6 or 5 more. I think there might be 6 more, but let's say here comes your next one. Here it comes. Here's Advanced 13, Steep Fall. I think this one is like, you basically, it's like when you're falling to the next area. I have no idea what I'm thinking, but maybe you start up here. There's a wall right there to be sure if you don't fall off. There's a blue goal right here, and there's a green goal way down there. So you have to go falling to this platform. If you want to get to the green, you fall this way without falling off. Well, I think I just made that up. So, pretty good job for me, but actually, for that wall, I may not be sure if I put a picture in that one, but maybe not. So, pretty good job for me, but let's see, there might be some more. 5 more left. Let's go. Here it comes. We have Advanced 18, Temple, instead of a water temple, which I'm guessing about it. I think you start right here, and you go around the bottom of the temple. I think you're going up the temple. Actually, not going down the temple, just up the temple. This might be a good level for me, but just go up the ramps all the way up to the top of the temple. Actually, I made that a little different than Sake of the Saga. Then the goal is right on top of the temple. That's pretty good for me. Actually, I was doing my best to make levels pretty different of some kind. Well, I think we should move on to the next one. Here it comes. How about Advanced 4? Triangular Stair. Yeah, triangular stair looks different than square stair. So it's all triangle stairs, so you just go bump up the steps. You're going around the wall right there. There's another wall over here. You can go around that too. So I think they're all triangle stairs. So just go up the steps, and then if you get up to the top, there's a blue gull right there. There's no warp gulls, just a blue gull. Well, I said there was a couple of warp gulls on a few levels, but the ones I just talked about before. So there's just a blue gull right there. So that was a good level. Actually, I'm getting used to making levels like this. So I think we have a few more left. Let's get going on the next one. How about Advanced 9? Unhappy Trails. That one, it might be a good level, but let's say you're starting right here, then you go around, you're going on the trail, which is unhappy, but I just made that level up. Say you go right, you're going over the bumps, which I'm guessing, but you just basically go over the bumps, and then at the end, you can go down the ramp towards the goal. I'm pretty sure I can handle making it through this level, but I think that was pretty good. Let's see, there might be more. Here it comes. This is Waterslide, Advanced Extra 4. That one I'll bet is actually pretty different, but there might be holes on the water slide. So first of all, you start here, and you go down the water slide, and then go around the holes. At the end of that hole, there might be bunches of bananas over there, and then to the goal. And I'm making those a little challenging for people, but actually that was a pretty good level. The goal is right over there. So I'm pretty sure I handled through a few levels, but if I don't know how to do it, I'll figure it out. So that's the end of this level, but there's one more level that I'll show for this presentation. So here it comes. Here's your last one. We have Windy Chute, Advanced 17. That one I think is a little different from Sega the Saga as well. Actually, I thought I'd just make it a little windy of some kind, since you're going around banked curves again. That one, say you start right here, then you go down the ramp as the bank curve goes through. I mean, you're going around a banked curve and the other banked curve as well. Then you go down the steps. There might be bumpers, so watch out for some bumpers. Then you go around this last bank curve, and then to the goal. And be sure not to fall off. It might be a little annoying when people fall off the level, but not for me, but I'm trying to do my best on this game, you know. But this is my remake of Sega the Saga's Dimensions. Well, I think that's all the levels I'm showing for Advanced. Good job for me. Well, thanks for watching this video. Give a like if you want, and be sure to hit the like button or subscribe and share more videos to people, but I have no idea. But thanks a lot for watching this, and the expert video will be here someday soon. So, see you later. Goodbye.